G'day guys, and welcome back to another episode of Euro Mining News. It's been a few weeks since my last update. I've been busy out in the field. However, the industry has been going nuts since I've been gone. It's across Europe, but especially in the Nordics. We've had ASX listed Ragnar Metals release a slew of high grade results at their Olserum rare earth deposit in southern Sweden, using both trench sampling to look at the width of the deposit and also rock chip sampling to go along and see just how long it is in strike length. And they've been getting over 9 meters at plus 1% widths and really good heavy rare earth oxide ratios, kind of running up to 60%, which we'll touch on later. In other news, we've had ASX listed Bastion also chasing rare earths in southern Sweden at its Glitorp project. They've increased their mineralized strike length. ASX listed Eclipse, another rare earth explorer, however up in Greenland. They've just got access to 19,000 meters of drill core, which they're going to sample for rare earths, and it's more or less free drilling when you get access to that historical core. So we'll see what comes out of that. United Lithium, they're chasing lithium, as the name suggests, in Sweden, in central Sweden, at their Barry B lithium project. They've had a bunch of good drill hits come back, showing kind of 6.9 meters at 1.45%, 14 meters at 0.7% with internal high grade sections, kind of 1.5% running over 4.76 meters. So they're getting some good grades come back. On top of that, we've had drill results out of Endo Mines. We've had updated feasibility results out of Grangex. We've had soil sampling results from North Gold, and even some updated kind of interim scoping study clarification from Talga. However, the news that beats all of it, knocks it out of the park, is out of Norway. Also rare earths. They've just announced the biggest rare earth deposit in in Europe. Their Fen deposit, which is an absolute monster. So they're saying this thing is even bigger than LKAB's Pergaia. So because rare earths are a bit of a just a weird and hard to value commodity, I thought I'd do a bit of a breakdown of the background of rare earths in Europe and then talk about this deposit. So if we cast our minds back to just a mere 18 months ago, Sweden announced the biggest rare earth element deposit from their state-owned LKAB or LKAB. So they basically said that they had the biggest rare earth deposit in Europe, close to 1 billion tons, and then just across the border, all these rare earths, Norway come and pip them just 18 months later and take the trophy. Now, the media has jumped all over this, saying that Europe will now be able to break free of its reliance of China with all these rare earths, just like it did 18 months ago when LKAB announced this. However, rare earths aren't as simple as size, as I've mentioned before. So one thing that does differentiate rare earth Norway from LKAB's Pergaia deposit is it has a much higher grade total rare earth element oxide or TREO rate. Basically, the Fen deposit is sitting at 1.57% versus Pergaia, which is down at a pretty low 0.18% total rare earth element oxide. So as I mentioned before, 0.18% that's not economic in any sense. The only reason it's economic for LKAB is the fact that they are mining reasonably high grade magnetite and getting these rare earths as a credit. However, just like I said before, rare earths aren't as quite as simple as who's got the biggest. So if we jump into the results that came out here, the mineral resource for the Fen deposit, which was released just last month, or was calculated just last month, and at $100 per tonne net smelter return economic cutoff. Here we can see 560 million tonnes, massive. not quite as big as LKAB. They had 1 billion tons, but their total rare earth element grade is just so much higher than what LKAB has, and hence why it's now become the biggest deposit. Now, where this thing absolutely falls to its knees is, as I've mentioned before, not all rare earths are created equal. Heavy rare earths get a much higher premium than light rare earths, and then you've got a few that are considered light rare earths, but they've got specific magnetic properties, NdPr, so neodymium and praseodymium. They are the biggest drivers of value, along with your heavies, when you're looking at a rare earths deposit. So here we've got 1.57%, great grade. If we now jump over to the percentage of light rare earth elements in this, we're looking at 1.54%, which is basically the entire thing. If you look at the heavy rare earth element percentage, a weighted percentage, you got 0.02%. So this is just one of those classic ones where the headline doesn't actually tell you about it. It gives you the total rare earth element oxide grade, but the ratio of heavies to lights comes on page 15 of the report once everyone's given up reading. So it's very interesting, very, very interesting indeed. Now, here we've also got the percentage for that LKAB has. So this is their Podium deposit. They've got 19%, so a bit higher and better. Realistically, even though their total rare earth element grade is way lower, at least their heavy grade's higher. But I wanted to jump into, there's a fella here that I came across, Filips Kozlowski. So he was basically in charge of leading edge materials during the drill out of the Norra Karr deposit. Now, I'd urge everyone to go and have a look at this post because it's very well put, and I loved reading it. But he's basically created this chart which compares Podium to Fen to Norra Karr. So Podium, absolutely massive tons-wise compared to Fen. However, it's got way less actual contained total rare earth element oxides due to that grade difference. He also points out that Norra Karr doesn't really have a high total rare earth element oxide. It's got 0.5%. However, when you start to break down the heavy rare earth element versus total rare earth element oxide ratios, you've got Fen sitting at just under 1%, versus Norra Karr, which is sitting at 52%. Considering that the major driver in value is the heavies, this tells you everything you need to know, basically, about whether this Fen is the real deal or not. So yeah, definitely go have a look at him. Now, I also wanted to bring this back and compare it to what Ragnar released just last month, where they found this new prospect, new outcrops basically, that were running up to 65% heavy rare earth element oxide. That's very important. You cannot look past that. Even though the grades are still high, 4.1% total rare earths, 2.3% total rare earths. This Ragnar deposit prospect is shaping up to become something definitely to keep your eye on. So I wanted to finally just jump into this Norra Karr. This is the PEA that they released in 2021. Now, this project has not been receiving a lot of love on the stock market, regardless of this extremely high heavy rare earth element oxide ratio, because there's been a bit of a pushback from the community as far as actually putting this thing into production. But yeah, definitely worth keeping the eye on. So that's about everything for me today. It's good to be back in the seat, and thanks everyone for watching. And please provide some feedback if there's anything that you want to hear or that you think can be done better. As a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a geologist. Everything I say is just my own personal opinion, and you shouldn't take any of it as advice. You shouldn't even listen to me. Just disclaimer there. All right. Thanks everyone. Have a good one.